Have you ever felt that sense of excitement when you think about planning your next adventure? Maybe a trip to a place you've always dreamed of visiting, or perhaps a visit to see family or friends. Traveling is something many of us look forward to, regardless of our age, and it can be an amazing way to stay engaged, active, and connected to the world around us. However, as we get older, traveling can come with its own set of challenges, especially after the age of 70. It's important to be mindful of the hidden dangers that often go unnoticed by seniors planning their trips. In this video, we'll explore 5 hidden dangers of traveling after 70, dangers that, if overlooked, could pose serious risks to your health and well-being during your trip. We'll also discuss practical ways to mitigate those risks so that you can enjoy traveling with confidence and peace of mind. By understanding and preparing for these potential hazards, you'll ensure that your next trip is filled with nothing but positive memories. Let me share a story that might sound familiar to some of you. Rosemary, who's 74, had always loved traveling. Whether it was a weekend getaway or an international trip, she had seen much of the world. But on her last trip to Europe, she noticed a few things started changing. She found herself exhausted by the end of the day, struggling to keep up with the walking tours, and her legs felt weaker than usual. At one point, she tripped on an uneven sidewalk and hurt her ankle. While it wasn't a major injury, it was enough to make her realize something. Her body wasn't recovering the way it used to, and she hadn't taken proper precautions before her trip. Rosemary hadn't considered the toll that travel could take on someone her age, the fatigue, the physical strain, and the long travel hours. This trip served as a wake-up call for her. So, before your next adventure, let's talk about the 5 hidden dangers of traveling after 70 that you should know about. By being aware of these risks, you'll be better prepared to prevent them from affecting your trip. The first danger we're going to talk about is something that sneaks up on many of us without warning: dehydration. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at retaining water, and it becomes easier to get dehydrated, even if we don't feel thirsty. Dehydration can lead to all sorts of problems, especially when you're traveling. Whether you're flying, walking around new places, or adjusting to different climates, dehydration can leave you feeling fatigued, dizzy, and even prone to falls. This is particularly concerning for seniors because dehydration can exacerbate other health conditions like joint pain, digestive issues, and high blood pressure. Let me tell you about John, a 72-year-old man who was excited about his recent trip to visit his daughter in another state. On the way there, he spent hours sitting on the plane, barely drinking any water. By the time he arrived, he felt drained, lightheaded, and had trouble keeping up with the busy schedule his daughter had planned. After seeing a local doctor, it was clear that John had become dehydrated during his flight, which had made him feel weak and unsteady. John learned the hard way that staying hydrated is one of the most important things you can do while traveling. So, how can you avoid dehydration while traveling? First, make sure to drink water regularly, even if you don't feel thirsty. On a long flight or during a road trip, try to drink at least 8 ounces of water every hour. Carry a refillable water bottle with you to make it easier to remember to hydrate. If you're going somewhere hot or at high altitudes, you may need to drink more. You can also keep electrolytes in mind. Sports drinks or electrolyte packets can help you replenish minerals lost through sweat, especially if you're in a warm climate. Dehydration doesn't have to ruin your travel experience, but you need to be intentional about staying hydrated. The second hidden danger is one that can often be overlooked: blood clots and deep vein thrombosis, DVT. Many people, especially seniors, are at risk of developing blood clots during long periods of travel, particularly on long flights or road trips. When you're seated for extended periods of time, your legs don't get enough circulation, and blood can pool in your veins. which increases your risk of developing deep vein thrombosis, DVT, a blood clot that can form in your legs. If the clot breaks free, it can travel to your lungs, heart, or brain, leading to serious health complications like a pulmonary embolism or even a stroke. Let's take Helen, 78, as an example. Helen was excited to go on a 2-week cruise with her friends. During the long flight there, she spent hours sitting in her seat without moving much. By the time she arrived at her destination, she noticed some swelling in her lower legs and had trouble walking without feeling pain. After a visit to the onboard doctor, she was diagnosed with DVT, which is something that could have been prevented with proper leg movement and hydration during the flight. To prevent blood clots while traveling, it's important to keep your legs moving. If you're on a long flight or road trip, make sure to get up and walk around every 30 minutes or so. When you're sitting, try doing some ankle circles or foot pumps to improve circulation. Compression socks or stockings can also help improve blood flow and reduce the risk of clots. Finally, remember to stay hydrated. Drinking water helps maintain blood circulation and prevents blood from thickening. By being proactive, you can help prevent blood clots and protect your legs during your travels. So far, we've covered the dangers of dehydration and blood clots while traveling. But let's move on to another critical issue: jet lag and travel fatigue. Traveling to different time zones can leave your body feeling out of sync with the local time, leading to fatigue, insomnia, and poor physical performance. This can be especially tricky for seniors who may already have trouble sleeping or adjusting to new schedules. Take Frank, 80, who traveled across the country to visit his grandchildren. When he arrived, he was exhausted from the time zone change. He couldn't fall asleep at night and struggled to stay awake during the day. Jet lag affected his ability to enjoy the trip, and he felt physically drained. Frank didn't know that certain lifestyle adjustments, such as adjusting his sleep schedule a few days before travel and using natural light to help reset his internal clock, could have made a big difference. To minimize jet lag and fatigue, try adjusting your sleep schedule a few days before your trip by going to bed and waking up closer to the time zone of your destination. Once you arrive, spend time in natural light during the day to help your body adjust to the new time zone. Stay hydrated and try to avoid caffeine and alcohol, which can disrupt your sleep even more. These small adjustments can make a world of difference in helping you feel energized and ready for your trip. Now that we've discussed dehydration, blood clots, and jet lag, let's continue exploring more hidden dangers that can arise when traveling after the age of 70. One of the most critical areas we must address is personal safety and security while traveling. As we age, we naturally become more vulnerable, and while it may not always be on our minds, ensuring our personal safety, both from accidents and theft, is essential when we travel. Imagine you're traveling to a beautiful new city, excited to explore its streets and culture. This is exactly what happened to Helen, 78, who had been looking forward to a long-awaited trip to a vibrant European city. While out on a guided walking tour, she was distracted by a street performer, and before she knew it, someone had slipped their hand into her purse and taken her wallet. Helen didn't realize what had happened until much later, and while she was able to cancel her cards and report the theft, the experience left her feeling vulnerable and unsettled for the rest of her trip. Helen's experience is a reminder that theft and personal security are something we all need to be vigilant about, no matter where we're traveling. Theft doesn't just happen in crowded markets or tourist hotspots. It can happen anywhere, even on a quiet street. The risk of being pickpocketed increases in places where there are large crowds or when you're distracted. But it's not just theft we need to worry about. Falls or accidents can occur as well. We may not always realize how our physical mobility has changed as we get older, and slips, trips, and falls can happen more easily than we think. Let's think about George, 72, who was traveling with his wife to a museum. While walking down a set of uneven stairs, he lost his footing and twisted his ankle. It wasn't a major injury, but it was enough to cause pain and limit his ability to move around freely. George later realized that he hadn't been as mindful of the environment around him as he should have been, and he wasn't wearing shoes with proper support. When you're traveling, especially in unfamiliar environments, it's essential to remain aware of potential hazards. Uneven sidewalks, narrow stairways, and slippery surfaces can pose significant risks. To avoid these, always wear comfortable, supportive footwear with good grip to prevent slipping. When you're navigating through a busy street, museum, or unfamiliar area, it's a good idea to slow down and be mindful of your surroundings. If possible, bring along a cane or walking poles for added stability, particularly if you're walking long distances. This extra support can reduce your risk of tripping and keep you steady on your feet. Besides the risk of falls, personal safety also extends to being prepared for any emergencies while you're traveling. It's always a good idea to have a plan in place for how you will access medical help in case something goes wrong. Travel insurance is one of the best investments you can make for peace of mind. It provides emergency medical coverage, helps with lost baggage, and can offer assistance if you need medical care abroad. Before traveling, always research local healthcare systems so you know where the nearest hospital or clinic is, especially if you have a pre-existing health condition that requires ongoing care. Take Rita, 80, for example. During a trip to the mountains, Rita experienced sudden chest pain, which was a scary moment for her. Fortunately, Rita had purchased travel insurance and was able to receive immediate medical attention. The trip to the hospital was made much easier by her insurance, which covered her costs and helped facilitate communication with local doctors. Rita's story highlights how crucial it is to be prepared for health emergencies. Having travel insurance, a list of emergency contacts, and knowing how to access medical help can make all the difference when you're abroad. Moving on to the next hidden danger, let's talk about overexertion and exhaustion, something that can easily sneak up on seniors, especially when traveling. As we get older, our stamina and energy levels might not be what they once were, so overpacking your days with activities and long outings can lead to exhaustion. It can also increase the risk of accidents, falls, and other health problems. Let's take Frank, 75, as an example. Frank had planned a week-long vacation to a sunny beach resort with his family. Eager to enjoy every minute of his trip, he pushed himself to participate in all the activities: beach walks, sightseeing, swimming, and trying every restaurant in town. By the third day, he felt completely worn out, his muscles sore, and he was struggling to keep up with everyone else. He ended up spending the last 2 days of his vacation lying in bed, too tired to enjoy the things he had hoped to do. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of travel and try to pack as much as possible into every day. But overexertion can leave you physically drained and can even interfere with your ability to properly enjoy the trip. It's important to remember that it's okay to slow down. Plan your activities in a way that allows you to rest and recharge. Start by organizing your days with plenty of breaks. Don't try to fit too much into one day. If you know you'll be walking for long periods, be sure to rest regularly. You can also give your muscles a break by enjoying light activities like sitting in a park, visiting a museum, or having a leisurely meal. If you're traveling with others, make sure they understand your need for rest and help you pace yourself. Avoid overscheduling. Remember, quality over quantity makes for a much more enjoyable trip. Another crucial tip for avoiding overexertion is staying hydrated and well-nourished. Dehydration and lack of proper nutrition can leave you feeling weak, dizzy, and fatigued, especially when you're on the go. Carry a water bottle with you and make sure to eat balanced meals. It's tempting to eat on the go while traveling, but it's important to fuel your body with nutritious foods that will keep your energy levels up throughout the day. Now that we've discussed the dangers of dehydration, blood clots, jet lag, personal safety, and overexertion, let's dive deeper into how to manage chronic health conditions while traveling, a topic that's particularly important for seniors. Traveling when you have chronic health conditions can be a bit more challenging, but with proper planning, you can travel safely, comfortably, and confidently. Whether you have arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, or any other chronic condition, managing your health while on the move is crucial for enjoying your trip. Let's take Eleanor, 80 years old, as an example. Eleanor has diabetes, which requires constant monitoring and adjustment of her blood sugar levels. She's also very active and loves to travel, so she made sure to consult her doctor before embarking on a trip to a remote coastal village. Eleanor's doctor advised her to keep a close eye on her blood sugar levels, bring extra medications, and ensure she had access to local pharmacies in case she needed more supplies. She also made sure to pack her insulin in a cool bag, knowing that fluctuations in temperature could impact its effectiveness. By planning ahead and being organized, Eleanor was able to manage her diabetes while enjoying every moment of her vacation without any health setbacks. Managing chronic health conditions like diabetes while traveling doesn't have to be overwhelming. In fact, proper planning and preparation can make all the difference in helping you stay comfortable and healthy. Here are some key tips for managing chronic health conditions during your travels. 1. Consult your doctor before your trip. This is the most important step. Your doctor can provide you with guidance on how to manage your specific condition while traveling, particularly if you're going to a location with different climate conditions, altitude, or unfamiliar foods. Your doctor may adjust your medication or recommend specific precautions to take based on your health history and the destination. 2. Create a medication plan. Bring a list of all your medications, including the names, dosages, and instructions. Having this list on hand is essential in case of an emergency, and it can also be helpful if you need to visit a doctor or pharmacy while abroad. 3. Pack extra medications. Always bring extra medications, especially for long trips. This includes prescriptions for chronic conditions like diabetes, hypertension, or heart disease. Make sure you bring your medication in its original packaging and keep it in your carry-on bag to avoid any mishaps with checked luggage. 4. Know your destination's healthcare system. Research the local healthcare options at your destination. In the case of an emergency, you'll want to know where the nearest hospital or pharmacy is. For international travel, it's especially important to have travel insurance that covers medical expenses. Travel insurance will also provide emergency assistance and ensure that you can receive medical care wherever you are. 5. Bring a travel health kit. In addition to your medications, bring a health kit with the basics for any unexpected issues. This kit should include things like bandages, pain relievers, antacids, and hand sanitizers, as well as any specialized supplies you may need, like insulin pens, blood glucose meters, or heart medications. Managing blood pressure while traveling. One common chronic condition many seniors experience is high blood pressure or hypertension. For seniors, managing blood pressure while traveling is crucial as changes in environment, time zones, and activity levels can affect your heart and overall health. High blood pressure is sometimes called the silent killer because it doesn't always show symptoms, but it can lead to serious complications like stroke, heart disease, and kidney problems. Take John, 76, who was traveling across the country to visit his daughter. He had been managing his high blood pressure with medication for years. On his long flight, he started feeling more anxious than usual, which caused his blood pressure to rise. By the time he arrived, he noticed some discomfort in his chest and decided to check his blood pressure, only to find that it had spiked to a dangerous level. Thankfully, he had packed his blood pressure medication and was able to bring it back under control. To prevent situations like this, make sure to monitor your blood pressure regularly while traveling. Many seniors with hypertension can travel safely as long as they stick to a routine and keep their health in check. Here are a few tips for managing your blood pressure while traveling. Take your medication regularly. If you're on blood pressure medication, take it exactly as prescribed. Even when traveling, try to stick to your regular medication schedule, especially if you're crossing time zones. Monitor your blood pressure. Bring a portable blood pressure monitor so you can keep track of your readings during your trip. This way, you'll know if your blood pressure starts to climb and if you need to adjust your medications or activity levels. Reduce stress. Travel can be stressful, but stress is one of the biggest contributors to high blood pressure. Try to stay calm and practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation to reduce stress and keep your blood pressure in check. Limit salt intake. High levels of salt can increase blood pressure, so try to avoid salty foods while traveling. Opt for fresh, whole foods when possible, and try to avoid processed or fast food that can be loaded with sodium. Managing joint health and arthritis. As we age, many of us also experience joint pain, particularly in the knees, hips, and back. Conditions like arthritis can make walking, sitting, or even standing for long periods more uncomfortable. Traveling, especially with long flights, walking tours, or sightseeing, can put additional stress on your joints. Fortunately, there are ways to manage joint pain while still enjoying your travels. Let's talk about David, 79, who loves hiking. On a trip to a national park, David felt his knee pain flare up after a long day of hiking and exploring. His usual pain relievers didn't seem to do the trick. David had arthritis in both knees, and the physical exertion of hiking on uneven terrain exacerbated his discomfort. He learned that he needed to plan his activities more carefully, give himself plenty of rest, and use additional joint supports, like knee braces, to reduce the strain on his knees. If you suffer from joint pain, here are some tips for managing it while traveling. Pack your medications. Bring along anti-inflammatory medications or topical creams that you regularly use to manage pain. Always have them handy for when discomfort arises. Supportive gear. If you have knee, hip, or back pain, consider bringing along joint supports, such as knee braces or compression socks that can offer relief while walking or standing for long periods. Pace yourself. It's important to not overexert yourself. If you're planning a sightseeing tour, for example, break it up into manageable chunks, taking breaks regularly to rest and stretch your joints. Low-impact activities. Consider engaging in low-impact exercises such as swimming or cycling, which are gentle on the joints but still help you stay active. Maintaining a healthy diet while traveling. Finally, it's important to remember that eating a healthy diet is essential, not just for managing your weight, but for managing chronic conditions and maintaining energy during your travels. When you're on the road, it's easy to grab fast food or indulge in things you normally wouldn't. However, eating the right foods can help keep your health in check. For Marie, 72, a healthy diet was key to her travel routine. She'd learned from past trips that eating foods that kept her blood sugar stable and supported heart health made her feel more energetic and comfortable. Marie made sure to pack snacks like mixed nuts, fresh fruit, and whole grain crackers so she wouldn't rely on unhealthy snacks when hunger struck. Marie also made sure to avoid foods that would upset her digestion, focusing instead on whole, nutrient-dense foods. To maintain a healthy diet while traveling, prioritize whole, unprocessed foods like fresh fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins. Avoid excessive salt and sugary snacks which can spike blood sugar levels or cause water retention. Stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water, especially when flying or spending time in dry climates. In conclusion, traveling after 70 can be an exciting and enriching experience, but it requires a bit more preparation and care to ensure your health and safety. By managing your chronic conditions, staying hydrated, taking care of your joints, and protecting yourself from the common risks of traveling, you can continue to enjoy the joys of travel without compromising your well-being. Traveling is about creating memories, experiencing new things, and staying connected to the world around you. So, make the most of it, plan ahead, take care of your health, and remember that you can enjoy every journey, no matter your age. If you found these tips helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more tips on staying healthy and traveling safely at any age. I'd love to hear your travel stories and what tips you've learned along the way. Here's to safe, exciting, and rewarding travels at any age.